Hello and welcome to another issue. Hello again and welcome to my Dolly midlife crisis. I think that's the name right. I hope it is. Today I'm going to take you back to 2005, which is the year that I first discovered Blythe. Obviously the dolls had originally been out in 1973 and they hadn't been the success, I suppose, that they had intended to be. And they were discontinued. And then in kind of the early 2000s, Gina Garren, who had been gifted a Kenner Blythe, and who was a professional photographer, took some pictures of the doll, and they kind of took off again. People were interested in them, and it kind of put Blythe back out there into the world. And obviously, in Japan they decided they were going to make the dolls again, and yeah, and that's kind of where we are now with people collecting the dolls, and it's been, well, 20 years of love, so that must have been 2001 when they actually started to produce the dolls again. So yeah, so basically I first bought this, which was a box of postcards, which was basically the Gina Garren photographs, which were put onto postcards. This has Hasbro on the back, so it's licensed by Hasbro, and it's got a list of the other things which Gina Garren also did, which was some books, an address book, Hello Blythe address book, Hello Blythe journal. And this is Blythe. I'm not sure what Hello Kitty would have thought about all this Hello business, but anyway. So yeah, there's 30 postcards in here. I'm going to show you a few. So this was kind of the cover. There's a very pretty picture there. So some are like portrait, and some are landscape. I actually bought 2 sets of these, mainly because I thought that I would probably use a pack to kind of send to people, and the other set I thought I might end up framing and putting on the wall. I've yet to get around to that. I did use a few of them originally. I haven't used them for a long time. They've actually been in storage. But I will eventually get around to hopefully getting a big frame and putting a few sort of selected cards in there. I mean, it's only been 16 years since I bought them, so I'll get around to it eventually. So yeah, so that was really my introduction to Blythe. I guess Gina's work really was an introduction to a lot of people because they were completely unaware of these weird dolls until then. As most people probably hadn't been around in 1973 at the launch, although it was the year I was born. Obviously I didn't know anything about them because I was too tiny. Talking of things being too tiny, I'm going to show you now the very first Blythe doll that I bought. This would have been in 2005, and it is this girl here. Now, when I bought her, I didn't know how big she was going to be. I bought her on the internet, but I'm not sure through what site I bought her on or anything like that. At the time of buying this doll, I actually bought 2. Not the same one. I bought another doll. I basically gifted one of the dolls to my friend Barry, who I hope still has it. But yeah, so this is one that I kind of chose for myself. She's called Marmalade Heart. She was released in 2005 and then she was reissued in 2006. Now, I'm presuming it was 2005 when I bought the dolls, because in 2006 I'd moved down to London and I didn't really get post there, mainly because there was a very odd situation with where the post box was. Anyway. So the back of this, the year mentioned, I mean, obviously there's a lot that I can't read because it is all in Japanese. The year that I'm seeing is 2005. I don't know if the re-release would have had the same year on it or not, but as I say, I think this is the original one. If there's a way I can find out which one it is, and you know how I can discover this from the packaging or the doll, drop it down in the comments below. So yeah, today we're going to have a closer look at her. She's never been removed from her box. The lid does come off, and I think she had like the plastic band around her head, which kept her fringe in place, but I did remove that because I basically had her on display in her box like this. And as I say, I'd moved down to London the following year, and she did come with me because I remember her being on my bookcase in my room there. So yeah, so let's have a closer look at her. Okay, so here she is. So as I say, she's called Marmalade Heart, and the whole kind of theme of this doll seems to be Alice in Wonderland, which I know the Japanese seem very interested in Alice in Wonderland. There's a lot of Alice in Wonderland stuff out there which they've done. I think it's the whole combination of the sort of weirdness and sort of cuteness of the story of Alice in Wonderland. I didn't specifically get the doll because of Alice in Wonderland. I'm not a huge fan of it. I know it's kind of one of those quintessential English novels, well, children's books, I suppose. But yeah, I've always preferred The Wizard of Oz, to be honest. Shocker. Anyway, so here she is. I am going to remove the lid. I'm going to slide her out. I'm not actually going to unbox her like I would with the other dolls. Mainly because I kind of like her in this, and I'm not sure she'd actually be able to go back in properly again. So I'm being a coward. The doll herself, she is tiny. She's so small. When I bought her, I didn't really know how big she was going to be, and then when she turned up, it was like, oh, okay, she's tiny. But then I didn't have any other reference point. I didn't know how big an actual Blythe doll was. I knew that obviously the ones in the photograph, the photographs of Gina Garron's was bigger than this, but I didn't know how much bigger they were. And there wasn't a huge amount of information out there at the time. Like I say, this was like 2005, and the internet was very slow, and you know, you couldn't watch like videos on things, unboxings. It would have taken forever. I didn't even know where to start to try and find information about the dolls. I could have asked Jeeves, but I'm not sure if Jeeves would have known anything about it, to be honest. So yeah, at least I wasn't duped into buying something that was false, but I wouldn't have even known that there were false ones available. There possibly weren't back then. But yeah, at least I got a genuine Blythe. She is a very pretty doll. Obviously she has blue hair. Her eyes are a really nice grey colour. So the differences between a Petite Blythe and an actual Blythe is obviously the eyes, you can't change the eyes. But they do have sleep eyes in that when you put them flat, they do close. They only have the one set. Now this one is giving us grey side eye, which is a very pretty eye colour actually. I don't know if they all do that. This is the only Petite Blythe that I have. She's really nicely dressed, actually. So she has this kind of like apron, pinafore dress thing on. She then has a dress underneath. She then has bloomers underneath that. Obviously, you're not seeing any of this. There we go. So actually, I think this is attached. I think the apron might be attached to the dress. And then underneath the dress are bloomers, which you can remove. And they've got little ribbons on the bottom of them. And then further down, where you can't see, she has like black and white like tights on. And little black shoes. Now, I think the shoes are painted on. The legs might be painted on as well. The tights. I don't see how they could have made tights that small. I really don't. Just for some comparison, I do have Garland with me. So I'm going to stand her next to her so we can see how big an actual Blythe is next to a Petite. So she's basically, obviously I've not taken out the box, but she's basically kind of like leg length. There's also an in-between size, which is called a midi, which is bigger than a Petite. So, yeah, they're kind of more like a Blythe, but again, the eye function is a different one as well. Let's put Garland away. There we go. So the kind of accessories, you get quite a bit with this doll, in a way, for saying how small they are. So you get a white rabbit, and that is actually a finger puppet. Again, I've not taken it out. But yeah, he's quite cute. He's got a little sort of neck ruff on and some buttons down his front. Again, going with the whole Alice in Wonderland theme. And then there are these two things here. So one is a jar of marmalade and another is a key. If I kind of remember the story of Alice in Wonderland, I know that there are keys involved. I don't know about the marmalade. I don't remember that being in the story, but it could have been. But yeah, they are basically little kind of cardboard things, which I've seen in photographs she can hold. I actually don't know how she would hold them. Maybe people kind of stick them in her hand or something. I'm not really sure. Also, what you probably can't see, or which I don't really want to kind of bend cardboard for you to see it, is there is a doll stand kind of down the bottom, which is great. I don't think I realised that originally when I got her. Maybe if I had, I would have taken her out the box. But yeah, so there's a clear doll stand, and I think it's basically one that you just put the feet and the whole thing kind of balances out, rather than there being any separate part where it would fit around her waist or anything like that. There's also a hair bow here. When she's actually in the box, as you can see, like that, it looks like the hairband is the hair bow, sorry, is actually attached to her head, and it isn't. It's like a separate little clip. I can't remember what you call the clips, but they're kind of, you know, you can clip it in the hair. So yeah, and obviously the packaging is really nice. Again, it's basically Alice in Wonderland stuff. We've got like cards on there. We've got like a door with a lock on. We've got this kind of checkered pattern there. It's all very kind of like cards and stuff like that. And then the back of the box here, obviously there's a lot we can't read. There's actually a website there. I don't know if I realised that at the time, but I could have maybe gone on the website. Of course, I was still on dial-up, so by the time the whole thing loaded up, it might have been like an hour later. There's also a link to decoratoys.co.jp, And there's a mobile Blythe site. I don't remember having internet access on my phone, so obviously in Japan they might have been quite ahead of everyone else. They might have already had the internet on their phone. I think we could barely have internet on computers, but there we go. So yeah, there's a web address there as well for that, and unfortunately I can't read the rest of it. Here we have Blythe is a trademark of Hasbro, 2005 Hasbro, all rights reserved. Blythe character rights are licensed in Asia to Cross World Connections Limited, manufactured and distributed by Takara. And then we have Takara Co Limited, 2005. So I'm presuming that this is 2005 when the doll was produced. As I say, the following year in 2006 there was a reissue of her. So presumably she'd been quite popular. As I say, the whole Alice in Wonderland thing is, I know, a pretty big thing over there. I think because of the kind of kawaii aspect of it all and the kind of weirdness maybe as well. And I guess it's just one of those stories that kids enjoy as well. I suppose it's a bit out there. So yeah, so that is Marmalade Heart Blythe, who's going to go back in her box now. I'm really happy that I kept hold of her all these years, because I had no idea that, 15 years later I would be buying the regular size dolls or anything like that. I don't know if I would get any more Petite Blythes. She is cute. I don't obviously regret buying her at all, but I don't really know what you would do with them. They're so small. I don't know how you would dress them. I know people do it because, I follow people online that have Petite Blythes and do lots of stuff with them. I think I would just be scared of dropping her or losing her or, just damaging her really, because she is so tiny. One thing I did forget to actually mention is that her face is actually kind of matte. There is a little bit of shine, but it's certainly not as shiny as the plastic they use on the Neo Blythes. So they probably photograph pretty well, actually. You don't have to worry too much with the sort of the light, the bounce off of the light. So yeah, I don't know, I'm not taking her out, I don't know if the heads are the same as the Neo Blythe, in that you can remove the front plate, you can remove the scalp, you can do all these things. I doubt that there is much call for them being customised. I think, if you can customise one of these, you deserve like millions and millions of pounds, because they must be so fiddly. So I'm going to put her away again. So thank you for watching, if you've managed to sit through all of this. I know I didn't unbox her properly, but I'm quite happy with her in the box as she is. If you've enjoyed it, I hope you give it a thumbs up. Please comment down below, and if you haven't subscribed already, please subscribe, and I will see you again soon. So until the next time, bye bye.